I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you on this matter. So you're going to, on your justice court matters, you're going to have an attorney. And your new court date will be on Monday. And that will be at 1 o'clock in the afternoon with Judge Foreman. So you're going to have video court on Monday with Judge Foreman on those charges. Let me send those through and then we will talk about your Tucson city warrants. You have a good number of warrants from the city of Tucson. Let's go on to your Tucson warrants now. Looks like you have 1, 2, 3, 4 warrants out of the city of Tucson. On your Tucson City Court, I'm going to set your bond at $100 as well. I'm going to set this matter for a video review on the 15th of July at 1:45 p.m. with Judge Maldonado. If you're out of custody at that point, your new court date will be August the 11th at 9 a.m. So your total bond is $300. And you have court on Monday and then on the 15th, which is a week from Tuesday. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Grijalva?
Do you have 103 over there? Or yeah. And I have to write notes in it. I have to write one. Hi, can I have your name, please?
Carlos Vincent Grijalva?
Hi, I'm Judge Hazel. I'm here to conduct your initial appearance today. Purpose of this hearing is for me to set release conditions in your case. Do you understand why you're here today?
Yes.
You're here today because you have domestic violence charges out of the city of Tucson. I'm going to release you and give you a new court date with Judge Verena on August the 4th, 2025 at 9 a.m. Standard release conditions will apply, including no contact with any victims. Don't return to the victim location. However, if you have property at that location, you can return with the police calling the non-emergency line and making arrangements to get your property. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, good luck to you. The wrong direction.
Accept. No.
Hi, can I have your name, please?
Priscilla Guerrero.
Hi, I'm here, you're here today. I'm Judge Hazel. You're here today because you have a number of warrants from Tucson City Court. You understand why you're here today?
Yes,
What I'm going to do is set your bond at $100 and set your matter for a video review on July the 5th. $100 and set your matter for a video review on July the 15th at 1:45 PM. If you post that bond, your new court date will be August 11th at 9 AM with Judge Hale. I am going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent you on that matter. Standard release conditions will apply. So your total bond is $100. If you post the bond, you will be released, but you must appear in court. If not, you'll be transported and have court on the 15th. Do you have any questions?
yes, the reason I had gotten picked up for my warrant because a person was trying to taser me and, I was working on that property, cleaning it up, and the person is here today right now. He didn't, I don't know why he's here right now, but he got in here later. But he told them that he was the owner of the property, so they arrested me for my warrants, but I was working for the owner
Okay,
of the
well,
property.
you have a warrant. I've made a decision, so
So,
just need somebody to post the bond for you. Good luck to you.
Driving.
Yeah. Hi, sir. Can I have your name, please?
Joseph Ivan, ideally.
Hi, I'm Judge Hazel. You're here today because you have charges of assault and disorderly conduct, domestic violence. I am going to release you. I'm going to give you a new court date on August the 12th in Tucson City Court. Standard release conditions will apply, including no contact with any victims. Don't return to the scene of the crime. If you have property at that location, you can return with the police to get that property. You are being released. Make sure you make your next court date on August the 12th, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Mr. Martinez.
Sir, can I have your name, please?
Mr. Uriah Shea Martinez.
You're here today on charges of resisting arrest, disorderly conduct, unlawful imprisonment, all misdemeanors. I'm going to release you, standard conditions, give you a new court date of August the 12th at 1:30 PM with Judge Million. Standard release conditions will apply, including no contact with any victims. Don't return to the scene of the crime. However, if you do have property at that location, you can return with the police and get that property. The way you do that is called a non-emergency phone number for the police, and they will go there with you. You are being released. You have a next court date on August the 12th. Good luck to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Can I write that down with the pen?
no,
That's all.
paperwork afterwards.
Okay.
We're gonna get you paper.
Okay. Thank you.
Stuck with.
Hi, can I have your name, please?
Jared Sokowitz.
I'm Judge Hazel. You have multiple warrants out of the city of Tucson, and that's why I'm seeing you today. What I'm going to do is set your bond at $100 and give you a new court date. That new court date will be July the 15th at 1:45 with Judge Verena. I am appointing a public defender to represent you. Standard release conditions will apply. If you post the $100 bond, you will be released, but then you must appear on August the 11th. Do you understand, sir?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, good luck to you.
Numbers.
Hi, can I have your name, please?
Mario Summers.
Hi, I'm Judge Hazel. You're here today on charges of assault and criminal damage. I'm going to release you, give you a new court date. That new court date is going to be August the 5th at 2 PM with Judge Bond in Tucson City Court. Standard release conditions will apply, including no contact with any victims. Don't return to the scene of the crime. However, if you do have property at that location, you can return with the police by calling the non-emergency number for the police department, and they will go there with you.
All right.
Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Hi, can I have your name, please?
Adriana White.
Hi, I'm Judge Hazel. You're here today on new charges of disorderly conduct and multiple warrants out of the city of Tucson.
This is the first time I'm hearing of any warrant. Do you have any other information you can give me?
You failed to appear. What I'm going to do is set your bond in the amount of $100. Set your matter for July 16th at 1:30 p.m. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you. And if you post bond and are released, you must appear on the 16th. So your total bond is $100. Your new court date is July the 16th at 1:30 p.m. So good.
Can I get any information on the warrant? I have no idea what that could be from whatsoever. I'm just trying to get some more information. The very first time I'm hearing about any warrant whatsoever.
Okay, well, they're for contributing to the delinquency of a minor charges, but you have 3 warrants. We'll send the paperwork over. It'll have it on there for you.
Okay,
Good luck to you.
thank you.
Be honest.
Sir, can I have your name, please?
Anthony Yanes.
Sir, you're here today on charges of assault and disorderly conduct. You also have pending charges for the same thing. What I'm going to do is set your bond in the amount of $100 and give you a new court date of July 16th at 1:30 p.m. with Judge Million. If you post that bond, you will also appear on July 16th at the same time. Standard release conditions will apply. I am appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Special conditions are no contact with any victims, don't return to the scene of the crime. If you have property at that location, you can call the police and return with the police one time to get property. You do that by calling the police non-emergency number. Good luck to you, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, just a second. Here's that one. I put the note on there. Huh?
What did you?
I put a note on that. I'm done. Here's this one back.
Thank you.
Hi, can I have your name, please?
Shailene Monique Anderson.
Hi, I'm Judge Hazel.
Hello.
You're here today because you have charges of aggravated assault on a police officer, resisting arrest, and that is why you're here today. Does the state have a recommendation in this case?
Yes, Your Honor, and I believe she's also going to be seen on some misdemeanor DV charges, but the state is recommending $5,000 bond with pretrial services, as the court is aware. She was arrested for what I would deem a violent misdemeanor DV charges. And this isn't your typical ag assault on an officer where someone spits or pushes. She punched one of the officers in the face, choked another officer, injured another officer or one of the officer's genitals, kicked one in the stomach, and then tried to take a taser from the officer, Judge. So just based on the circumstances, the state believes a $5,000 bond's appropriate.
Attorney for the defendant?
Yes, she has no prior felony arrest. Her PSA score is very low. They're both ones on the NCA scale. So we'd ask that you consider those factors. She appears to be unemployed at this time.
Okay, thank you. What I'm going to do is set this matter for a preliminary hearing on July the 15th at 1:30 p.m. I am going to appoint the Office of Public Defender to represent her. I'm going to implement standard release conditions, including no contact with any victims, don't go to the victim locations. I'm going to set again for a preliminary hearing on July 15th at 1:30 p.m. If the bond of $2,500 is posted, then she will be supervised by pretrial services. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Judge, does she not have a DV assault she's being seen on?
No, I think they might have just given her a citation for it. That's
Oh,
what-
you know what? It was part of the interim complaint. My apologies.
Okay, yeah, we don't have a separate case on that for her. Hi, can I have your name, please?
Francisca Veronica Cardona.
Yeah, I'm Judge Hazel. You're here today on two different things. You have charges of possession of dangerous drugs, possession of drug paraphernalia. And you also have a warrant for your arrest on a probation matter, I believe.
Yes, I was getting that taken care of with, I had called my probation officer in Cochise County.
Yes, out of Cochise County. Okay, let me talk.
Yeah.
Does the state have a recommendation in this matter?
Your Honor, it looks like she's on 2 separate felony probations, so we're just asking for a $1,000 bond, as well as a steps hearing, and because she's already going to be held, the standard 10-day PH date instead of the waived one.
Attorney for the defendant?
Since she's being held without bond, we guess that you set a nominal bond, so she's getting time credit.
Okay, I am going to set this matter for steps hearing on July the 14th, a preliminary hearing on July the 15th. Ma'am, a step hearing gives you an opportunity to have this case dismissed by completing a program. I'm going to set your bond at $1,000.
You're being held without bond.
Okay.
All right, I would like to talk to the attorneys about the out-of-county probation violation.
Yeah, I'm getting that taken care of. I'm sorry, go ahead, sir.
Does the prosecutor believe I can hold her non-bondable with that and not set it to a no bond hearing?
No, I'm not sure why we would. Since it's probation violation, I'm not sure why we're even seeing her on that. But given that it is for probation violation, she would just be held without bond. And, whenever the local matters are resolved, Cochise County would be able to come get her. But I've never really heard of people being seen on out-of-county probation violation.
My
warrants.
inclination was to set a $50,000 bond so she doesn't get lost in our system. And then set it for review on August the 5th.
I would be, the state wouldn't have an issue with that because I'd imagine she would be held without bond locally on the probation matter here, I would assume.
Okay, that's what I'll do then. Ma'am, after you get done with your matter here in Pima County, you'll be taken down to Cochise County for your case, okay? Good luck to you, ma'am.
So what?
And you have a hearing on, the 14th.
That's what I was talking about, and my situation was already been taken care of.
It hasn't been taken.
I know, because my probation officer here told me, basically she told me, don't have any police contact, because they didn't have time.
You're gonna have to talk to your lawyer about it, okay?
Because they didn't have any time to get, the judge didn't have time to sign the paper. It was the weekend. So I'm gonna send to Tucson to visit me.
No, you're gonna stay here, you're gonna sign here.
Yes. But then we're attending a bond here. This is questions.
Oh, he brought that up. Participants, attention. Attention.
Hi, sir. Can I have your name, please?
Nicholas Cody Aldridge.
Hi, I'm Judge Hazel. You're here today on charges of felony DUI, also called aggravated DUI. Does the state have a position on this matter?
Your Honor, the state's only recommending a bond of $5,000 just based on the pending DUI that's out of justice court from only, I believe, a couple months ago, back in, I believe it was March.
All right, thank you. Does the attorney for the defendant have anything to say?
It appears that, he's been living in, Arizona his whole life and, he doesn't have any felony charges, prior charges or convictions. And he is employed.
What I'm going to do is set the bond at $2,500 cash secured. Pretrial if posted, standard release conditions will apply. Preliminary hearing on July the 15th at 1:30 p.m. in Justice Court. I am appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Sir, your next court date is July the 15th at 1:30. If you post the bond, you will be released, but you must be supervised by pretrial services. Good luck to you, sir.
Mr. Bennett.
Mr. Bennett, you're here today. You have a warrant out of Superior Court. You failed to appear. A warrant was issued for your arrest. State have a position on this matter?
Your Honor, the state's actually okay with release to pretrial on this. It's a dismissed and refiled matter. He was released to pretrial before the dismissal, and it doesn't look like he incurred any sort of additional charges.
I assume the public defender doesn't object?
No objection.
Okay, sir, I'm going to release you. Give you a new court date of July the 14th at 1:30 p.m. in Superior Court. That's next, a week from Monday. You must appear at that time or a warrant will issue for your arrest. Failure to appear again will result in a warrant. I am appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, but you are being released, but you must appear in court. The only reason I'm releasing you this time is because you didn't get the service. And so I'm releasing you, but you must show up now because I've given you notice of the court. Okay?
All right.
Good luck.
Thank you. I'll put this.
Sir, can I have your name, please?
Miguel P. Lucas.
Sir, you're here today on new domestic violence charges, and you have 2 warrants for your arrest out of Superior Court. You also have charges out of City Court and a warrant for your arrest out of City Court. Does the state have a position on this matter?
Yeah, Your Honor, I would just note he's got prior DV convictions in his felony and misdemeanor history. It looks like it's all the same victim in at least the 3 matters before the court. I would just note the nature of the charges. So essentially, we're asking you to affirm the bond amounts in each of the warrant cases. So on the 08 case is a $50,000 bond. On the 3-5 indicted matter is a $5,000 bond with pretrial services. And then on the new interim complaint for aggravated domestic violence, we're asking the court to impose a $10,000 bond with pretrial services. Again, he's got an NVCA flag and he's almost maxed out on both scales.
All right, thank you. Attorney for the defendant?
Yes, Your Honor. It appears he hasn't been previously arrested on either of these cases that were issued. With respect to the new charge, he's been living in Tucson his whole life, and he's employed full-time as a carpenter.
Thank you. I'm going to work backwards from the most least serious or the least one. On his Tucson City warrants, I'm going to release him and set it for a video review on non-transport review, I'm sorry, on September the 5th at 9 a.m. with standard release conditions. On the 2 Superior Court warrants, I am going to affirm the bond amounts and set those matters for an arraignment on the 14th at 1:30 p.m. Standard release conditions will apply. including no contact with any victims, don't return to the scene of the crime. Public defender is appointed on those cases. So the arraignments on those will be on the 14th at 1:30 p.m. And then on the new justice court matter, I'm going to set a secured bond of $5,000. If he posts all the bonds and is released, he'll be supervised through pretrial services. Standard release conditions will again apply, including no contact with any victims. Don't go to the location of the offenses. That matter will be set for a preliminary hearing on July the 15th at 1:30 p.m. in Justice Court. So, sir, your court dates now are July the 14th and July the 15th. A public defender has been appointed in all matters to represent you. And your Tucson City case has been set for a review. And a public defender has been appointed on that matter as well. Good luck to you.
The paperwork.
Directora.
Sir, can I have your name, please?
Cody Matty Couture.
So you're charged with aggravated assault, attempted strangulation, and you also have a warrant out of, or you also have new charges out of Tucson City Court. Does the state have a position on these new felony charges?
Your Honor, the state's requesting a $50,000 bond with pretrial services, given the allegations, the statistics behind the lethality for these types of offenses. There's an NVCA flag, and it looks like he just finished completing a sentence for, it looks like 2 counts of kidnap just last month.
Yes, I saw that. All right, the attorney for the defendant.
Judge, he's lifelong resident and but he's currently unemployed.
Okay, thank you. On your Tucson City cases, I am going to release you and set the matter for a video non-transport review. Appoint the Office of the Tucson Public Defender to represent you on that matter. So on your Tucson cases, you are being released. Standard release conditions will apply, including no contact with any victims. On your new felony matter, I am going to impose the bond requested by the prosecutor. I do note that you were just released from prison. New offense occurred within 2 weeks. I'm going to set the bond at $50,000 cash secured if posted through pretrial services. Standard release conditions will apply, including no contact with any victims. If you post that bond and are released, you will be supervised by pretrial services. Good luck to you, sir. Hi, can I have your name, please?
Andrea Alejandra Leon Guzman.
Hi, I'm Judge Hazel. You're here today on new charges of criminal damage and endangerment. Does the state have a recommendation in this matter?
Your Honor, the state's okay with release to pretrial given the lack of criminal history and low risk on the scales.
Any
No
objections?
objection. No objection.
All right, ma'am, I'm going to release you. I'm going to give you a new court date for a preliminary hearing of July the 25th, at 1:30 p.m. in Justice Court here in downtown Tucson. Standard release conditions will apply, including no contact with any victims. Don't return to the scene of the crime. I am appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you in all further proceedings. So your new court date is July the 25th. You're being released, ma'am, but you must appear in court at that time or a warrant will issue for your arrest. Good luck to you,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Hi, can I have your name, please?
Melissa Heron.
I am Judge Hazel. You're here today on charges of possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of narcotic drugs for sale, possession of narcotic drugs. Does the state have a position in this matter?
Your Honor, the state's requesting a $10,000 bond with pretrial services, given the criminal history and allegations here. It looks like there was, we're not talking about, compressed pills. We're talking about powder form of fentanyl. And she had nearly approximately almost, I believe, 20 grams worth, which is, more than a sufficient lethal amount, when, factoring in the amount. So the state believes a $10,000 bond is appropriate.
All right, thank you. Attorney for the defendant.
She's lived in town for 25 years. She is employed full-time as a caregiver. She has a place to stay.
All right, thank you. What I'm going to do is to set this matter for a preliminary hearing on July the 15th at 1:30 p.m. in Justice Court. Appoint the office of the public defender. I am going to, based on the fact in this case and the history, I am going to set a $10,000 secured bond. That will be with pretrial if the bond is posted. Again, standard release conditions will apply, and I'm appointing the office of the public defender. Ma'am, your new court date is July the 15th, and your bond is $10,000, and you do have a public defender. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Johnson?
Sir, can I have your name, please?
Eric Lee Johnson.
So you're charged with domestic violence, aggravated assault. That's why you're here today. I'm Judge Hazel. I'm here to conduct your initial appearance. Does the state have a position on this matter?
Your Honor, the state's requesting a $10,000 bond given the allegations and the fact that pretrial had noted alternate housing could not be confirmed.
Okay, thank you. Attorney for the defendant.
He has somewhere else he can stay where the alleged victim won't be living. He is working full time. He indicates, by the way, that he's living alone. So probably that's why probation or pretrial couldn't verify it, because if he's living alone, then no one else would be there. He again is employed full time and doesn't have any prior felony arrests and no prior domestic violence cases.
Thank you. I'm going to set this matter for a preliminary hearing on July the 15th at 1:30 p.m. in Justice Court. I'm going to set the bond at $7,500 cash secured. If bond is posted, he'll be released through pretrial services. No, I'm going to order that standard release conditions with no contact with any victims, don't return to the scene of the crime. I am also going to order that public defender be appointed to represent him. Sir, your new court date is July the 15th at 1:30 p.m. If you post the bond, you will be released. Otherwise, you'll remain in custody until your next court date. Good luck to you, sir.
Mr. Marcel?
Sir, can I have your name, please?
Marcel?
Okay, you're here today. You're charged with possession of narcotics, drugs for sale, possession of drug paraphernalia. Does the state have a position on this matter?
Your Honor, the state's requesting a $10,000 bond with pretrial services, given the criminal history involving similar conduct. And when you add up the number of grams of total fentanyl pills, which is somewhere between 80 and 90, closer to the 90 gram side, that would be a substantial quantity. It's approximately 10 pills per gram.
Okay, thank you. Attorney for the defendant.
Yes, I have nothing to add to the report.
Okay, I'm going to set his bond at $5,000 cash secured. If he posts it, it'll be through pretrial services. I'm appointing a legal defender to represent him. Standard release conditions. New court date, July the 15th at 1:30 PM for a preliminary hearing in Justice Court. Sir, I have appointed a lawyer to represent you. I've set your bond at $5,000. You have a new court date of July the 15th. If you post the bond, you will be released. Otherwise, you'll remain in custody until that day, but you do have a lawyer. Good luck to you, sir.
Neighbor?
Sir, can I have your name, please?
Gabriel Montijo Nabor.
Hi, I'm Judge Hazel. You're here today because you have two associated cases. One is a felony DUI, and then you have other charges out of justice court arising out of the same thing. Does the state have a position on this matter?
Your Honor, the state's recommending a $5,000 bond with pretrial services, given that he's got the two prior DUI convictions, as well as the facts of the case in, driving in excess of the posted limit of 20 miles, 20 miles per hour over the limit, which is the criminal speed. So the state believes a $5,000 bond with pretrial is appropriate.
Attorney for the defendant?
Yes, he's got no prior felony arrests or convictions. He is employed, he indicates he's employed full-time and he's a lifelong resident.
Thank you. I'm going to set the matter for preliminary hearing on July the 15th at 1:30 PM. On the felony matters, I'm going to set the bond in the amount of $2,500 cash secured. If posted, he'll be released through pretrial services. I am appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent him. I'm imposing standard conditions, which include no alcohol. Let's go on to his justice court matter. On his justice court matter, I'm going to release him and give him a new court date of July the 15th at 8:30 in the morning with Judge Steele and with standard release conditions. Sir, your total bond is $2,500. If you post it, you must appear in court on the dates that I provided to you. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Looks like on the next one, Parker, the state's moving to dismiss. Is that right?
Correct, Your Honor.
Well, I can tell him when he comes in, but I'll work on the paperwork now.
Go ahead.
Hi, can I have your name?
Lucas Parker.
Hazel, you were here charged with felony charges, but the state has moved to dismiss them. So I'm dismissing your cases and you're being released.
Thank you, sir.
You have a great day, all right?
Thank you so much.
That's it.
Sir, can I have your name, please?
Julio Tapia.
Hi, I'm Judge Hazel. You're here today charged with aggravated assault on the police officer DUI, failure to comply with the court order, and criminal damage. Does the state have a position on release on this matter?
Your Honor, the state's requesting a $10,000 bond given the allegations, the criminal history, and the fact that he's actually on parole, or I mean community supervision for second-degree murder.
Okay, thank you. Does the state have or a defense have a position? I'm sorry.
He is working, and living in Tucson. It does appear that he is on parole at this time.
Okay, I don't see a parole hold yet. What I'm going to do is set the bond at $1,000 cash secured at pretrial posted. Set the matter for preliminary hearing on July the 15th at 1:30 p.m. with standard conditions. I am appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent him. Sir, the Department of Corrections may be filing a hold, then you would not be able to be released, but at this point, I have not seen that they have. Your bond is $1,000. I have appointed a lawyer for you and given you a new court date of the 15th. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Right, thank you to the attorneys. We're done for today. I need to go on to
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
thank you. Hi, sir, can I have your name?
Jason Hennekes.
Okay, so you're here today on charges out of Ajo Justice Court, failure to obey a court order and other domestic violence charges. Do you understand why you're here?
Yes.
All right, I am going to release you and give you a new court date in Ajo Justice Court on July the 22nd at 9 a.m. You must appear at that time. Standard release conditions will include no contact with any victims, don't return to the scene of the crime, no firearms, no weapons, no alcohol, no drugs, no acts of domestic violence. I will note in your case that your significant other has an order of protection against you, and you keep getting arrested on it, but she says she wants to have contact with you. You need to understand you cannot have contact with her as long as this order of protection is in place. You're going to continue to end up in jail. Do you
I
understand?
understand, Your Honor. This was something that we were unaware of, and she'll be going to court Monday, I'm assuming, to remove the order. Something that
There's no way that she's unaware that she got an order of protection against you, sir.
no, that's she's aware of that. We didn't know that I was in violation. We went on a trip for we discussed custody matters for our children, and that's the reason she contacted me. Is our daughter's birthday was coming up, and she contacted me for that.
Okay.
She wanted me to drive.
Who's in jail?
Me.
And you're in jail because you didn't follow a court order.
Understood.
And the only reason and the only person that can take this order away is the judge that issued the order. She has no legal authority to tell you that you can violate the order. And every time she does, you're going to end up in jail. I mean,
understood. This is the first and last time, John.
I mean,
I've never been arrested. I've never been arrested.
All right. If you like being in jail, that's one thing. But I've been doing this for 40 years and I see it happen over and over and over again. And she does not have legal authority to tell you that you can violate the court order. And if you think otherwise, you'll just end up here again. But
No, Your Honor, this is the last time, Your Honor.
I'm releasing you and giving you a new court date of July 22nd. You cannot contact her until you get documentation saying this order has been removed.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Have a good day, Judge.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good day, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thanks for your help today.